Hi, everybody. Welcome to Q&A Tuesday. So I had a fantastic question, and it's very, very, very common, not just in compulsion issues, overing, overeating, over drinking, overdoing, overworking, over scrolling. And so many people come and are concerned about, and how do we look at our thinking around that? But this can be applied to just about anything that you think of as going wrong. Like there's a relationship dynamic that isn't working. There's the amount of money I make isn't working. The conditions I live in aren't working. That predicament that's happening. I'm believing in the seeing and thinking that it isn't working. So I'm against what's happening. So I know that seems very wide and huge, very big. Like, what are we all doing here? Something is so interesting about noticing our thoughts and feelings. And it's almost everything that we notice. And we are so deeply aware that our thinking and our feelings are the cause and effect of whatever's happening that feels off balance, but sometimes not so much. It's like we're looking and seeing that thing is the problem. That way of eating that I have is the problem. That behavior is a problem. That person over there and how they act is a problem, even from my past, my family of origin, major problem. And we're not saying that it's not troubling, but notice what happens when we think that thing really has to stop, or they should have stopped. Like the past is even over, and that person should have stopped and done it differently, or we should have ourselves. Just notice the belief when we're thinking almost repeatedly, just arriving that it's concluded. This really has to stop for me to be happy. It's imperative. It's necessary. And it's never stopping. Look at it not stopping. I have so much proof. People say all the time, I've been in this compulsive, addictive process, what I do to relieve myself, or what I do, what I find myself doing that doesn't make any sense, that isn't healthy, or is, just a problem. I started when I was 14 or 10, or, when I left for college at age 18. And this behavior, has been, this way I see it, this relationship has been torturous. My relationship with my mother, father, sister, brother has been problematic for years. I have so much proof. I have all those incidents. Like just looking at that, as it sees, it's like looking through, let's say, a pair of glasses or binoculars at this predicament and this thing called a problem. Notice what happens when we believe this has to stop. We have analyzed the heck out of it. I mean, we've gone to therapists and meditation centers and monasteries and gurus and practitioners and health healer, like special healers, and people that work with energies and people that do all kinds of things. I mean, there are so many modalities, and I'm not saying that any of those are the wrong modality, but just look at the hunting down of this thing. The answer is somewhere, and I am going to find it. And we'll even get a lot of, I don't know if it looks like something is working, if something sort of made a big difference. Wow, that's the thing I needed. I had this pill, I had this medicine, and that was it. And I'm not saying that we don't ever take medicine or something like that. It's just, wow, that's the answer. And noticing, then the belief, if I don't have this thing, life will be totally unmanageable, untenable, I'll go completely insane, all will be horrible. Often there's a sense of the feelings that we have. We're looking at that thing that seems to be repetitive and endless and continuing, and I haven't found the answer yet, and it needs to stop. There'll be just immense focus. Like as we're just saying, there's just incredible focus coming from every angle on the pain and the problem. And I definitely need this to stop. I have so much proof. It's obvious. Everyone would agree and say so. And we might tell the story of how bad it is, and even how this problem developed. Wow, maybe it was because, and there's a lot in psychology these days, and I have a master's degree in behavioral science, so I've studied all the theories, and it's really interesting, the history of psychology and kind of what happened, and um, seeing the effects of childhood experience and kind of personality makeup, and if it's inherited or not, and all that nurture versus nature, lots of analysis and lots of insight from all of that. But notice the incredible looking at the problem, just focusing. It's like question 3 in the work. I mean, notice what happens when we think this needs to stop. It becomes almost a thing that we're just fascinated by and reading tons of books about. I mean, that's me right there. And not that there's anything wrong with that. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but so much proof that it needs to stop, that it causes a lot of suffering. And I like to understand with the mind what's going on. Like sort of have the answers. A plus B equals C. Oh, this is why that's underway. It's really interesting to see, is knowing, if I know why, then I will stop. I mean, that's sort of the mind's assumption in some ways, is if I know why this happened, which I'm not sure if we can completely know fully why, but if I know why, then I'll know where to go and what to do and how to be and where the safety zone is and all that stuff. And then I'll get it, and I will see how to stop. So, oh, excuse me. So anyway, just a lot of looking at the problem, kind of dwelling in the problem, being in the experience of the problem, looking at, the badness that I'm seeing is underway, even believing sometimes in um, da- danger and evil, and if you just make the wrong move, that thing will, and triggers, and it'll set you off, and kind of looking at different maybe experiences with the compulsive episode and saying, yeah, I now see what went on there. I did this and then I thought that, and that was maybe the wrong way to think. And so then this happened, and it was bad. So now I know not to do that, or what I can get into place to make sure that trigger doesn't happen. And it's just a lot of work. It feels exhausting. So the amazing question, who would you be without the story? It needs to stop. It really is asking, and to me, what if there was something here besides your mind staring at this problem, like just fixated on this problem, looking and looking and looking, which is, of course, what thought would do, what minds would do. It'd be like, wow, I really want to solve this. I mean, it's like math, and calculating, like, wow, let's really mull this over. And we're not saying that that isn't of immense benefit in some ways. I mean, incredible things have been resolved and solved because of engineering and data collection and analyzing. But I sometimes find, at least it has been for me, this missing incredible piece of, like, just the grace of who I am without a story, who I am without analyzing, who I am without thinking that I need to know in order to make something stop. I mean, what if the notion, the experience, the attitude of stopping was possible, and even stronger, far stronger than I'm even imagining? What if I, disconnected myself from this fixating on the problem and looked more at like what it's like if I didn't believe the story? I think of it as like a solution. Who would I be? Who would I be without the story? I absolutely have to stop, or I can't. Who would I be? What if you could? What if actually you didn't even need to know how to stop? What if you didn't need to know how? What if you could just simply trust that this stopping thing is alive and has potential and is happening and is always underway? I mean, I loved seeing in the most simplistic way that every binge episode or every storyline that I grabbed onto where I was obsessing or worrying and anxious and filled with concern about that, some sort of outcome or a person in my life, it all relaxed eventually, even like within the 24-hour period or less. Like there was an end of the thought. I went to sleep if I was staying up and I was anxiously awake, thinking about and ruminating about a problem and feeling stress in my body. The wave of concern actually passed. What if I didn't have to hunt down any answers for how to stop? What if asking how or saying I can't and all the hopelessness that brings wasn't true? And who would I be without the story? I cannot stop this behavior. I love noticing every single day I spent far more minutes not in the behavior when I thought my whole life is taken over by this behavior than I was in the behavior. And my mind was racing all over the place, yes, and full, but something was alive and well and abundant and I don't know, just like solid and emanating and growing and just that was persisting. The lack of all that, of concern about this thing that was so concerning in the mind, for the mind, about survival and all of it, was something was not interested. And that was there the whole time. I mean, it would just fade out and I wouldn't have the answer. And I think, I don't even know how to stop. And it would just be okay. Like, well, we're just getting some rest now. And now it's time to go to bed. And, oh, I'm having a conversation with another person, or there is this thing over here that I really like, or wow, I've seen a movie that's very inspiring, or whatever. That was equally there in the full range of experience and the human condition. There was beauty and an openness and a love for life and hope, really. And I mean that I don't mean that in there's no hope here now, and hope means that something good's going to happen later. It's just there's something within that knows something's off, but I might not have to crunch down with my thoughts around what is or is not working and just use it as so much proof about what isn't working. Who would I be? Who are we without the belief I can't stop, I won't stop, I need to stop, like all that emphasis on stopping? Who would I be? What if I could just fall back behind all this thinking? I mean, that's what the amazing question 4 is asking. Who are you without your thought? Who are you without your story? What are you without your story? What's happening here? And I know it has a question mark on the end of it, which is tricky because it's like, at least sometimes I don't know what I am, and that's bothering me. I want to know. My mind loves to know things. Just, oh, feels so good. I know this is a table. I know this is a pair of glasses. I know that's a water bottle. I know that's the sky. And it feels comfortable somehow, or, to label and name. And there's something beautiful about all that too. And I don't know everything about it. It's a great mystery why all of it's here. What if I don't know for sure that there's something wrong with me? That there's something I'm missing, and that's why stopping needs to happen, and I need to go hunt it down and find it. What if stopping is possible and underway and alive and happening? What if this starting and stopping thing has to be regenerated over and over again, and a lot of attention put into it? Like, oh, phew, it's a relief. I stopped for a few minutes today. And now here I am doing it again, and all the thinking gets churned up about it. Oh, it's so terrible. See, I am a horrible person. I can't stop. I can't stop this behavior, this storyline, or the way I see it. Who would you be without that story? What if who you are is not the thinker? And that is really one heck of a question, isn't it? It's amazing. What if who you are is a great mysterious life force where things are really unknown and it's not important to know everything? It's just to be in wonder and to let go and to notice, wow, something is really underway here. What if you had, a tag onto that? Something is really underway here, and it's amazing. It's intense. It's good. It's profound. It's inviting me to something wondrous and incredible. It's helping me see a way of looking at the world that I haven't considered. It's helping me take off the pair of glasses that's talking about despair and hopelessness and horror, and that things have to go differently for me to be happy, and that enlightenment is somewhere besides here right now, and I got to hunt it down and find it and kill it and grab it and make it mine. What if there's some other way, a letting go, a surrender? What if I don't have to solve this problem? What if I don't need to figure out how to stop? It's okay that I don't know, that stopping is already possible, available, and it actually happens. I just haven't noticed it very much. I just, oh, good. Finally, finally the wave or the thing stopped, or the compulsive episode came to an end. And I don't know, just what if I don't have to analyze? I had a friend once long ago who was very wise and said, analyze, interesting word, anal. It's like the waste, the waste space, the place that waste is at the end of the line, in the place that the waste is let go of. And so we're in there looking at the end result, the waste product, the area where everything is just like the worst right before it's released, and let go of. And to spend all the time in there looking at the past and projecting into the future. What if, like, I'm just spending all this time, lots and lots of time, in the badness and in looking at the evil and the energies and the difficulty and the trouble and the battle and the fighting, all of that. Mind analyzing. Who would you be without you can even let the mind, you don't even have to stop the mind. What else is here besides that? Isn't that more interesting? Turn around. I can't stop. Yay. I cannot stop. I don't even need to stop. Something else is still here, persisting, always. I've been taking this extremely seriously, like it absolutely and critically must end, or I will not be happy. I'm not giving you my happiness, oh world, unless this is over, this badness that I see. What if that wasn't true? Oh, I can't stop. Can't stop my thinking either. Look at that. It's my thinking that I can't stop. And even that's okay. I mean, try to stop your thinking. Very difficult. But something is already stopped. It's totally fine that I can't stop. Maybe this is showing some kind of struggle, such an interest in the struggle and the holding on that I can't stop, and I need to find out how to stop, and then some stopping happens. Ooh, good. And so we're going in that direction. What if there is no answer and that's completely fine? What if I'm willing to just be in this body and experience and the emotions and have the past that I've had? Maybe it even supported me. Maybe everything's been supporting me to move differently, to surrender, to let go, to be okay with what is, to just relax. Can't stop. I can't start. It's not necessary. So imagine if that was true and you knew that at some point things were done. I mean, they are done every single day. Even if you think I'm an alcoholic, I'm a binge eater, I'm addicted to television. Even if you think this is what's underway and this is what I do, or I just can't get my mind off my kid or my mother, and I have my framework of who she is and how she is and what she did to me and all of it. But if you can't, you bite down on it and you just watch the thing that can't let go, like a dog with a bone. It cannot let go, or the monkey that puts its hand inside the jar to grab the nuts that the monkey loves, and it will not let go its hand to get its hand back out of the jar. And I love those kind of metaphors that happen in real life and nature. Grabbing, will not let go. So that's just what the mind is doing. And stopping is happening. So I am not in charge of enlightenment, peace, joy. That's actually here. My job could be to turn towards that and just feel it and be aware of it instead of getting so deeply interested analyzing in the problem. Turned around. Who would I be without the story? How exciting. What's here? What can I be aware of as I find examples through my day of how so much is already stopped? So much is just here doing its thing where the compulsion is not happening. Where is the compulsive energy, the thing that I'm calling compulsive energy, not occurring? Even if you need to start with, it's not in my hands, it's not in my feet, it's not in my knees, it's not in the lamp. I mean, it can be amazing to see the abundance. And even in all that energy, if I didn't look at it as such dark, negative, terrible energy that's descending upon me and I'm a victim of it, who would I be if it looked like it was just the wind blowing and I'm completely safe? There it is, doing its thing. What if I'm mistaken about what it looks like and how it seems? What if that's compulsive energy? Oh, like urges are so terrible. Oh my God, so uncomfortable. I'm not saying they aren't. Believe me, I've been there. But they pass. It's amazing how they pass. I love that the word urge is called urgency. and urgency passes. It's like it feels really intense, and then it comes back, and it can't stay 10 out of 10 urgent. I mean, it just relaxing around that. So awesome. Just letting it go, letting it be the way it is. Watching the wind blow outside, and simply noticing, knowing there's nothing you can do about it, and that's okay. Stopping trying to do something about it. Really incredible way to live. I don't need to do anything about this. I don't need to do anything about this. Wow. It might not mean that you never do anything. You might do even more. So you just might be drawn in a direction that's even, just beautiful. No having to think about what's right or wrong or good or bad. Just allowing life to move you wherever it does. A very beautiful, surrendered, joyful ride. Like the little boat. Row, row, row your boat gently down the stream, not up the stream. Let me know how it goes. Right. Lots of love, everyone.